It's Ian from RTO. Second video of the day, and it is a live album ranking. And today we're going to have a look at the live albums of American band Toto, who seem to have done pop songs, rock songs, jazz songs, blues songs, you name it, they've done it. Released 14 studio albums and have released 7 live albums. This is a band that people probably well have done, but they've sold over 40 million records worldwide, and they've been inducted into the Rock Musicians Hall of Fame and Museum in 2009. So today we're going to concentrate on them 7 live albums. Great performances throughout. Watched a few of their videos. You know, the people I have in the band do capture that sound as well. So here we go. So coming in at number 7. Now this was released in 2021 and it was recorded in 2022 in Los Angeles, and it's called With a Little Help from My Friends. Now this performance captured a special night where Steve Lukather, Joseph Williams and David Page appeared with a new lineup of Toto for a global event. So you've got John Pierce on bass, drums and vocals Robert Spearwright, guitars Steve Lukather, percussion and horns Warren Ham, David Page on the keyboards and vocals Joseph Williams. So this opens up with a track called Till the End, and it's from Fahrenheit. It's a pretty good opener, good start. Then we go into some classics from the debut album Toto, the brilliant Hold the Line, which is just a brilliant track, and Joseph Williams does sing it very well. Pamela from the 7th one, another good track. Kingdom of Desire is a great track. It's from the Kingdom of Desire album, of course. White Sister from Hydra, classic, still played, written by the great Bobby Kimball, brilliant track. We're going to back to the debut album. There's lots of stuff off them early albums here. We've got You Are the Flower, another of Bobby Kimball's finest. Toto 4 for I Want to Hold You Back. It sounds a lot better live than it does in the studio. It always has been a great live track. Stop Loving You from the 7th one, great stuff. Staying with that album for Home of the Brave, one of my favourites. Then we have Rosanna from Toto 4. It's okay, but it's missing that drumming from Jeff. There was only one man that could drum on that, and that was Jeff from my books. And then they do A Little Help from My Friends. There you go. It sounds good. The production is good, but there's also these silent gaps. Well, what's all that about? But musically, that sounds good. Yeah, you know, Steve can still play the guitar well. Joseph's a great singer. So I'm going to give that one an RTO ranking of 6.5. Okay, coming in at number 6. Absolutely Live. From 1993. And it was recorded in 1992 in Rotterdam. So it's Steve Lukather on the lead vocals, David Page on the keyboards and vocals, Mike Porcaro on the bass, Simon Phillips on drums, vocals John James, Donna McDaniel and Jenny Douglas McRae, extra keyboard from John Jessel, and percussion Chris Trujillo. So it opens up with the great Hydra. Fantastic opening. Very, very good. I do like that song. It sounds really good live. Okay, it's not got Bobby on it, but it sounds great live. Then Rosanna. Now, I mean Simon Phillips got as close to Jeff Porcaro as he could. He's a great drummer, Simon. He's played with absolutely everyone as Simon Phillips. Great track. Then we have the brilliant Kingdom of Desire. Then they go back to that debut album and the jazzy Georgie Porgy, which I think's brilliant, and it's so good live. It's a great track. Then we go back to Hydra for '99, which again it is a great track. These older songs sound so good and refreshed. Then we've got I Won't Hold You Back from Toto 4. As I said, a lot of these songs from Toto 4 sound a lot better live because there's got a little bit more grunt to them. Then we go to the Fahrenheit album for a little instrumental written by Steve and David, and it's called Don't Stop Me Now, and it's brilliant. I love that. I love Toto's instrumentals. Then we get the great Africa. It's a great song. Love that song. Then we go back to the Kingdom of Desire for a bit of Don't Chain My Heart, another great track. The seventh one now, and we have Home of the Brave, which is an absolute killer track. One of my favourites, since it should end the show. It's one of them sort of tracks. Then we have a 10-minute version of Hold the Line, which sounds absolutely brilliant. And then they do With a Little Help from My Friends again. This is a pretty good live album. It covers most of their catalogue of up to date. As I've said, some of these later songs do sound better live. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 4. 40 Tours Around the Sun. Now they brought out a compilation album, similar name, then, and this is recorded at the Ziggo Dome in Amsterdam. So playing on here, bass and vocals Shem von Schurek, drums Shannon Forrest, keyboards Steve Porcaro, keyboards are David Page, Lenny Castro on percussion, saxophones and vocals Warren Ham, vocals Joseph Williams, and of course Mr. Steve Lukather on the guitar. They do a little intro and then it goes into a track called Alone. Now this is actually on the compilation album 40 Trips Round the Sun. Now I listened to it on the album and I do prefer the live version. It's got more, as again, it's got more atmosphere. Straight back to the classic from the debut album, Hold the Line. Brilliant track. Lovers in the Night from Toto. Now, I'm not very keen on the studio version, but I love the live version. It's crazy, isn't it? Then another track that was actually on that compilation album, 40 Trips Around the Sun, Spanish Sea. It's a really nice track. Again, for some reason, this sounds so much better as a live track. Then we go to a Tambu album and a track, again, which I'm not as keen on in the studio, but I love the live version. I will remember, it's a brilliant live version. English Eyes and Turn Back, do like that track. We go to the Kingdom of Desire for a little bit of Jake to the Bone. Once again, it sounds so much better live. Lee from Fahrenheit. Then we have a little bit of Rosanna. And then the last track on this CD, one of the last tracks on here, is a thing called Miss Sun. Now Miss Sun was a hit for Boz Scaggs, and it was written by David Page, Steve Lukather and Jeff Porcaro, and they actually do a version of this on a compilation called Toto 20. Then we have the wonderful little bit of the wonderful Georgie Porgy, and then Human Nature. Yes, it is the Michael Jackson, but who wrote it? Yes, who did? And it was written by members of the band, i.e. David Page and such thing, and it was on Thriller. Then we get Hollyanna from the Isolation album. That's a great little piece of that. It's like let's put little bits together. Then from Minefields, No Love, just goes smoothly into it. And then from Seventh One, Mush Hanger, brilliant. And they end that little sort of sequence with Stop Loving You. Goodbye Girl from Toto, lovely to hear that. It's one of the great tracks off that debut. Same as Angela. Absolutely wonderful version of it. Lion from Isolation, best version of that I've heard. And then they go and do Dune. Remember they did the soundtrack to the original Dune, and it's the desert theme. And boy is it good live. Wow. Then of course they did that through the Looking Glass, the covers album, and they do their interpretation of My Guitar Gently Weeps. It's okay. Back to the Isolation album for a bit of Stranger in the Town. Again, just sounds so much better live. Make Believe, it's probably one of the wishy-washy tracks off Toto 4, but do it live and it is fantastic. Africa is just great. Again, The Road Goes On from Tambu ends the show. Another excellent Toto album. They've lost some key people like Simon Phillips, but the guy they've got drumming now does a great job. Not as good as Jeff or Simon, but they're pretty good. And I like this because it's got some of the more unusual tracks and the deep cut tracks. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.2. Okay, coming in at number 4 is their 4th live album, and it's called Falling in Between Live, and it was recorded at the Zenith in Paris. Now, this album features Leland, the great Leland Sakar, who came in as a temporary replacing for Mike Porcaro, who had injured his hand. He only had a few weeks to learn the set, and this is also the last time we heard Bobby Kimball on a live album. So on here we've got Bobby Kimball doing the vocals, Steve Lukather, we've got Greg Phalanges on keyboards, Simon Phillips on drums, Tony Spinner guitars, and as I've said, the great Leland Sakar. So this opens up with the title track, because it's the name of the album, and it was the tour they did, Falling in Between. Absolutely brilliant. Bobby's on fire. Great track. Then they do King of the World from that album. Wonderful. Bobby Kimball, great singer. I love that track. Then we have Pamela from the 7th One. A great version of that. Back to that Falling in Between album for a bit of Bottom of Your Soul. Once again, they sound so much better live. They are a proper live band, Toto. Caught in the Balance of Minefields, great song. Don't Change My Heart, the best live version of that from Kingdom of the Desire. Then we go into it, Hold of the Line. Bobby's on fire on that. What a vocal on that. Stop Loving You from 7th One, another good track. Then from Fahrenheit we have I'll Be Over You. Sounds so much better live. Then we have Cruel, pretty good. Then Greg's solo. Then we have Rosanna, brilliant version of that. Then I Supply the Love, a little bit of that from that debut album, brilliant stuff. Isolation is just great live. Gift of Faith, what a track from Tambu. And a little bit of Kingdom of Desire. Then we get Lukather's guitar solo. Then they go into Hydra, which is probably one of the best live versions you'll get of that. Simon Phillips does a bit of twiddly on the drums before they go into Taint Your World from the Falling in Between. The brilliant Gypsy Train from Kingdom of Desire. Bit of Africa, and this ends with Don't Drag Him to the Roof from Tambu. There's lots of things I like about this. It's got Bobby singing. And Leland, considering he only had a month to learn this set, he delivered. It's a great musician. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, coming in at number 3. Livefields. It was recorded during the reunion tour, and it was released in 1999, and it was done at the La Dome in Marseille. Bobby Kimball, Steve Lukather, David Page, Mike Porcaro and Simon Phillips, with backings from Tony Spinner, Buddy Hyatt on percussion and John Jessel on the keyboards. As this is the Minefields tour, it opens up with the Caught in the Balance. Great track. Then they do a track called Tile of a Man. Now, they recorded this back in 1979 and it didn't appear until the compilation album Toto 20. It's a good track. Brilliant stuff. Rosanna. Then Steve does a guitar solo, and then they go straight into A Million Miles Away from Turn Back. Brilliant. A little bit of Jake to the Bone from Kingdom Desire. Mr. Phillips bangs on the drums a bit before they go into Dave's Gone Skiing from Tambu. Brilliant stuff. Great musicians. Then Out of Love, which is one of these tracks, is on a compilation. It's from Past to Present. It's a pretty good track. Mama from Hydra. Brilliant to hear that. Then the best version of You Are the Flower. Wonderful from the debut album. Bobby on Fire Again. The Road Goes On from Tambu. I love that track. Better World from Minefields. Goodbye Girl from the debut. White Sister, a killer version to end this from Hydra. And they do some acoustics on this as well. It's a great album, and I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.7. Okay, coming in number 2, it's the 35th anniversary live in Poland, recorded in Lodz on the 25th of June 2013. So on here we have got some drums of Simon Phillips, the guitars of Steve Lukather, keyboards Steve Porcaro and David Page, lead vocals Joseph Williams, and on the bass Nathan East, backing vocals Amy Keys and Mubato Carpenter. They start this with a lovely little medley, On the Run, and then it goes into that wonderful child's anthem which I adore. It's short but I love it. And then Goodbye Eleanor for Turn Back. It's a great little start to the show. Love that. And then we go into Going Home, which was from, they recorded it in 1989 but put it on that Toto 20. Fantastic track. Then we have two tracks from Hydra that seem to flow lovely. We have Hydra itself, and then St. George and the Dragon, which is a fabulous song. I'll Be Over You from Fahrenheit, killer. And then we have a couple from Toto 4, It's a Feeling and Rosanna. The Wings of Time from the Kingdom of Desire. Super stuff. Falling in Between, brilliant track. I Won't Hold You Back from Toto 4, Pamela. Great version of that. Joseph sings that really, really well, I think. 99 from Hydra. Then we have this little bit called The Muse that goes straight into White Sister from Hydra. Better World from Minefields, a ball-breaking version of Africa. How Many Times from Kingdom Desire. There's some great stuff. Hold the Line, and then Home for the Brave. It is the song that they should end all their concerts with. It's just absolutely brilliant. This is a really good album. I mean, Joseph Williams is a great singer. He sings the Bobby stuff really well, and the musicianship is there. You've got David, Steve, Simon, solid band. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. But my number one live album of Toto is that 25th anniversary that they recorded in Amsterdam in 2003. And this was the last live album to feature Dave PH, Mike Porcaro before his ceremony retirement until his return. So, recorded at the Heineken Music Hall, which I've been past in Amsterdam. So it's Bobby Kimball, Steve Lukather, Mike Porcaro, David Page, Simon Phillips, Tony Spinner and John Jessel. Opens up with the brilliant Goodbye Girl. Oh, what a track to open up with. It's one of the best tracks off the debut album. Then a little bit of Goodbye Eleanor. Brilliant. Which goes into Child's Anthem. Oh, It's only 56 seconds of it, but I just love that. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I just love that. It's just wonderful. That piano from David. It's fantastic. Then they do a little bit of I Supply the Love from Toto. So you've got this little sort of medley segment again. Then we go to the Turn Back album, and it's another fine song from Mr. Kimball. And it is Gift with a Golden Gun. Wonderful. Then we have a little bit of While My Guitar Gently Sweeps. Pretty good. And then they do a Steely Dan track, Bows of Livata from the Through the Looking Glass. Brilliant. Africa. Simon Phillips plays this so well. It's a great song. Waiting for Love. Great version of that. A little bit of Georgie Porgy. Should have been more of Georgie Porgy. Then they do a little bit of Lion. I can see where they're doing. They're playing little bits of their classics. A little bit of Hydra. And then a little bit of English Eyes. Followed by a little bit of Fahrenheit. So you've got these great songs from Georgie Porgy and that make this like a medley. Brilliant stuff. Till the End from Fahrenheit ends that little piece. And then we go into the couple of classics. I Won't Hold You Back. Probably the best version of that I've got. Rosanna just sounds cool on that. Afraid of Love. These songs from Toto 4, as I said, sound so much better live. Hold the Line and Home the Brave. I think this has got some of the best live production on a Toto album. Fine musicianship. It was near enough the classic lineup. All that was missing was the late, great Jeff Porcaro. So it is going to be my favourite live album. And I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8.3. So there we go. There's a bit of live Toto for you. A great live band. Okay, coming up next, and the third and final video of the day, is a brand new album. And it's the new album from Mr. David Gilmour. And it's called Luck and Strange. So join me for that later. Bye for now.